Hey, everybody, welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Hi to all of you here in EXP Family Tree. We are live streaming. We are also recording. So this is going to be live on my YouTube channel within 24 hours. If those of you are watching on YouTube later, hi to you as well. We're super excited because we get the chance to bring amazing guests here on Wednesdays through the summer to train us on a variety of topics that they are experts in. And, this is just an amazing opportunity for anybody at any company to get some free training via Zoom. And so if you know people who could get value from this, please always invite them. It's every Wednesday through summer, 2 p.m. Eastern. Once we get into the fall again, we'll probably go back to our Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Stay tuned on that. But without further ado, we're going to get started, and we're going to be talking about Facebook ads today, which is quite frankly a mystery to me. So I'm excited for this myself. Ernest Enriquez is a real estate professional with a proven track record of generating an impressive 12,000 leads in just 12 months, you guys. 12,000, yes, in just 12 months, which led to over 60 personal transactions and the creation of a 15-agent producing team. His journey in real estate has been fueled by an unwavering passion and an unrelenting drive for success through strategic marketing campaigns, personalized client engagement, and a commitment to excellence. He has consistently surpassed his expectations, which we all want to do. So I love having leaders who are showing up and doing the things that others want to do, because this is who we want to learn from, in my opinion. Ernest's success gained recognition. Other agents sought his expertise and his strategies. And so today he's honored to share his insights and serve as a trusted advisor, empowering fellow real estate professionals to achieve their own remarkable results. And his mission, which I love, is to help real estate professionals unlock their full potential and take their business to new heights. Through his proven strategies and mentorship, he guides professionals in generating exceptional leads and building thriving careers. And he does that for those agents that partner with him, but he was willing to come into EXP Family Tree and spend 45 minutes with all of us and teach us what he knows as well. So for that, we are extremely grateful, and we are excited to learn some amazing things about Facebook ads from you, Ernest. So I'm going to let you take it away. You guys, again, as a reminder, if you're new in here, go ahead and chat in the chat box or raise your hand, and we will definitely leave time for conversation and questions.
Yeah, appreciate that. Very, very nicely done introduction. Of course, my name is Ernest Enriquez. I'm super excited to be here. I have a really huge passion for helping others like yourself build their business, whether it's filling their pipelines or really putting strategic plans together for niche-based marketing. One of my biggest successes in my real estate career has come through the social media avenue of running Facebook ads. I actually started off my real estate career on a small team who was kind of handing me some buyers. These were mostly like Zillow Realtor buyers. And then from there, I actually made one of my first phone calls, which was an expired listing. And I went back to my grassroots of digital marketing prior to even my real estate business and started implementing the two. So when I grabbed my first listing, I was able to capture about 275 leads off that one listing by just running a Facebook ad. And that Facebook ad was super simple to set up. It took me maybe 15 minutes to do, and it was all connected to a backend process, aka conversion/KV core, which most EXP agents actually have access to nowadays. So without further ado, Facebook ads, kind of diving right into the nitty gritty, because it's a pretty big beast, right? And a lot of us as realtors don't really want to have to wear multiple hats. We don't want to have to figure out new technologies or new software solutions. We really just want to be able to have an easy button. And that's why I've been helping out a lot of agents like yourself. But there are also some agents out there who want to be the hands-on approach, right? You want to be able to go and run your own Facebook ads so that you're not reliant on somebody else. So diving right into Facebook ads, right? What are they? Of course, most of you all know what Facebook is. Facebook is basically an advertising platform / social media channel. So with that being said, there are a lot of things on Facebook that you as a realtor can do, right? First off, you can go ahead and you can create, and I'm going to go over here to my business page, but you can go ahead and create yourself a Facebook business page, which hopefully most of you all have this by now. If you don't, you need to get one ASAP, but you should all have a Facebook business page that you can drive traffic to, or that you can publish and start generating some real estate content, right? So you could have these pages and basically drive traffic to the page itself, right? By publishing daily, whether that's an auto post, whether you're using solutions like a social planner or anything like that. The idea behind it is to drive and publish to these pages as frequently and often as possible with real estate content. The goal behind this is that you're not only going to drive attraction, but you're going to drive engagement, right? And most of you all who have been posting and maybe already have an established Facebook page already know that you can go onto your Facebook page and you can click this little boost post button. You could select an audience, you can select an actual ad budget, and you can start advertising to that audience within that localized market or wherever you might decide you want to actually place those ads. This is that easy button that I'm saying, right? So if you don't want to have to dive into the more advanced setup, this is your easy solution. Your Facebook business page is that page that you can go to. You can create a post, you can click on boost post, and then when you do so, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, where you could actually start setting up your ad. Now, you're probably scratching your head going, well, I don't understand any of that, or I don't know what it is. And that's what we're going to walk through in the next 45 minutes, because we're going to explain some things that you need to be aware of when you actually go to set up these ads, right? Facebook is not your friend. Facebook wants to take your money. They want to basically grab that budget that you have and tell you that you need all these bells and whistles and that you're going to optimize your ad, and it's going to do so if you spend more money. But that's not the actual case, right? A good ad has great ad copy, has a good engaging photo or video, and has a strong call to action. Those are the first three key elements of an actual good performing ad. And my ads that I've run in my own personal real estate business, I've actually been able to generate leads as low as 95 cents all the way up to about $5-10 just on Facebook and Instagram. So what we're looking at here with the boost post is you have a goal. Your goal is always automatic, right? This is always set to automatic. And by default, they do that because they want to say that this is going to be the most relevant based on your goal settings for your business page. You could also go and get more messages. You could select your goals to drive more engagement. So whether you want people to react to your post, you want them to comment on it, you want them sharing your post, these are great for let's say you were running like some promo, or you have an open house and you want people just to share that house as much as possible because you want to drive as much foot traffic as possible. An engagement ad is perfect. If you want to actually go ahead and get more leads, let's say you want to ask questions like, hey, what's your first name? What's your email address? What's your phone number? That's going to be get more leads. And in this case, you can leverage a lead form, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, to go ahead and capture that audience, right? You can go ahead and grab that two-step authenticated information that they've already verified and validated to Facebook. And then you can go ahead and have that plugged into your KV Core once they submit that form. You could also drive traffic to your website. So maybe you're wanting to just redirect them to the front end part of your website and have them begin your home search there versus capturing their details in Facebook prior to them actually going to your business page, right? Or your website. You could also get calls, right? So if you want people to call you, there's all sorts of different types of goals that you could actually set. The real big factor here is what is your actual goal and what is your ad about, right? If it's an open house ad, or if you just want to drive exposure or you want to get engagement on your post, maybe you don't have an established Facebook business page and you posted for the first time and you want to drive engagement. Getting engagement is the first key. The two ones that I use most frequently, and the one that I built my business off of though, was the get more leads. And this is a Facebook lead forms strategy. For this, you are going to need to go into an advanced editor, which I'll show you here in a second. But if you want the easy button, again, like I said, the boost button, you can go ahead and select your special ads category, which is housing. You always have to select this when running real estate ads nowadays on Facebook. You cannot get around it unless you're not running a real estate ad. You can then go ahead and select your audience. So your audience could be people living in a specific area. The one big thing that a lot of marketers would tell you nowadays, and a lot of agents will tell you nowadays, is that you can't be granular with your targeting. And that is, in fact, somewhat true, but not completely true. And I say that because Facebook still does allow you as the realtor to go in there and add detailed targeting. The big three ones that I use in most of my ads, and this is my secret sauce, you're about to hear it straight from the mouth of me: Zillow, Realtor.com, and Trulia. You could still go in here and select that you want to target people living in a or within a radius of your address or a location who have an interest of Zillow. Now, this means that they've been on Zillow's website, they've been searching homes on Zillow, they've maybe got Zillow's mobile app. This just means that they've expressed interest in Zillow itself. You could also add Realtor.com, right? So do they have interest in Realtor.com? And then lastly, of course, Trulia. Do they have interest in Trulia? So you can still select interest to kind of help narrow your audience down. Now, if you were maybe doing like a first-time home buyer advertisement, you might go ahead and use like the first-time home buyer grant as an interest, right? So you can still select these interests. Don't be deterred by people saying you can't go in here and do it. Basically, what they're referencing is what happened with Google Analytica, where they went ahead and they pulled a lot of interest, but they didn't pull everything. They mostly pulled the income-based marketing that a lot of agents, including some people out there I know, were doing, right? Because in the past, you used to be able to basically, like the Wild Wild West, go ahead and say, hey, I only want to target household incomes of 150,000. We can no longer do that. However, you can still be strategic in how you define your audience. So for example, here's my audience. They're all within 30 miles of my office location. And I want to advertise to people who've had an interest in first-time home buyer grants. You can also go ahead and select things like Credit Karma. Probably not the best example here. I don't necessarily use it, but maybe with first-time home buyers, this is their go-to application. They're not using like MyFICO or any of those apps out there. They're using mostly Credit Karma because it's the free app. But you can, again, select and determine those audiences when you go to boost this post. Now, once this is all said and done, you'll be able to go ahead and save this audience. And now that audience is saved, and I can go ahead and click on boost post. After, of course, I go ahead and set my duration and my budget. So you can see how you could easily go ahead and set that budget for the next 7 days. It gives you an estimated daily result over here. So 101 to 293 reaches over the next 7 days based off of that audience, right? That's your easy button. Now let's kind of dive into the mind-blowing stuff of what does a really good ad do? How do I set it up? And what are some different ad strategies and these advanced ad strategies that I've leveraged? You can see here, here's a catalog sales ad that I've run, 479 new leads off of it, about 54,000 at about $1.10 per lead form. A lead form is basically, again, two-step authenticated information from a contact. So this means that they've actually provided Facebook with a good email, which Facebook's emailed them a code and they've verified it. They've also provided them with a phone number. Again, two-step authentication. They've gone ahead and verified that phone number and also a full name, right? A full name associated with their profile. Now, to set up an ad inside of Facebook, it's quite simple. So if you go into your ads manager, you're going to go ahead and click on create. Now, I've shown you how to boost the post. You're going to see that there's a lot of similarities here, but with the advanced editor or advanced manager, you're able to create more engaging ads. You get more control over your ads. You can create campaigns, assign different ads and multiple ads to a specific campaign. But you can see that we got awareness, we've got traffic, we've got engagement, we've got leads, app promotions. And if you have like an e-commerce, this is not really real estate specific, but you got sales as well. The one that I run probably about 99% of the time is leads. Again, this is basically going to grab that two-step authenticated information from the user, and it's going to plug it into my KV Core via Zapier, or it's going to plug it into my lead magnet dashboard with its native integration, right? We can go ahead and give this campaign a name. So I'm going to name this something like EXP Family Tree. And I'm going to give this a catalog or ad set, right? So we're going to name this ad set something like, for example, one of my best performing ads has to do with first-time home buyers. I don't know why, but first-time home buyers just tend to gravitate towards these advertisements where you have some sort of offering. And we'll put FTHB. These are just essentially creating a unique identifier for you to be able to see and choose what is what, right? So that your ads don't get lost or anything like that, more organizational pieces. We're going to go ahead and click on continue. Do not, and I repeat, do not use Tailor Leads campaign. Facebook just released this new update where they will actually create your ad, create everything for you automatically. Don't use it. I've tried it. It is kind of wonky and it doesn't do very much for you. So we're going to use the manual leads campaign here. We're going to go ahead and click on continue. And then basically what we need to do next is we need to go ahead and, just like in our boost post, we need to go ahead and select our housing category. We're then also going to select the Advantage campaign budget. I do absolutely recommend using this one feature that Facebook has to offer because it's going to optimize and distribute your campaign budget across your best performing ad sets. Again, the ad set, for example, was first-time home buyers. Within a campaign, think of this kind of like your family tree, right? Within a campaign being your master copy or your master, and then your ad set being kind of like your sub account to that master account, right? So within that sub account or within that master account, you can have multiple sub accounts. So if I wanted to just run an ad set for first-time home buyers and home buyers, those could be two separate ad sets. So just think of it in that context so that you can understand where this campaign budget comes into play. Because if I'm running first-time home buyer ads, let's say they stop producing results, but I also am running a home buyer's ad and the home buyer ads is producing results, Facebook will automatically start distributing more budget to that home buyer ad versus the first-time home buyer ad. So just do be very, very aware of that when you're setting up your ad budget. And then I actually set this as low as possible. Some people will tell you, hey, just throw as much money at it as possible out of the get-go. I like to make sure that it's going to drive engagement, drive clicks, or even start driving some results before I start cranking up the daily budget, right? So I like to start my budget low, and then I gradually increase it as it starts producing results so that I actually optimize my campaign budget versus blowing it on some sort of test when I set that to 20 or 30 bucks a day, right? So those are the things you'll need to know when you go in to set up your ad budget. We're going to go ahead and click on next. And then basically what we need to do here is we're going to use instant forms. Now, here's where I want to kind of pause for a second because an instant form is going to be prompted. Let me scroll down here so you can see some of these forms. Actually, I'm going to have to do it on the next screen. Instant forms is essentially going to be prompted when your advertisement is clicked. So the way that Facebook lead forms works is your ads displayed in their feed or wherever it might be that they're going to see it. They're going to click on your ad. As soon as they click on your ad, there's a form that's prompted. On that form, we need to make sure we have a good, strong headline, a description as to what we're going to do with their information. So this is, as a realtor, you need to be very transparent that, hey, we are going to send you updates about the local San Antonio market or whatever it might be via text, email, and phone call, right? You want to make sure that you have that lingo or that verbiage in there so that they understand you will be calling them. And then also you want to have a strong call to action, right? Because the form's prompted, it's pre-filled with that two-step authentication information. And then they literally just have to click on submit lead or view property or view website in order to be redirected to, let's say, your squeeze page or your landing page that you've created inside of KV Core, right? So when you do this, one thing that I will say is that if you are doing a squeeze page, it's important to make sure that with this strategy, you have the registration turned off. So you'll see here at the end of this link, I could set the registration to $9.99, which is turned off. Basically, they could look at almost 1,000 properties on my website without having to register. And I say this because we've already captured their information. And the last thing that you want happening is them landing on your website and having to re-register because it's just a deterrence. They go off your website and they continue not to look, right? So since we've already captured their data and their details, just send them to your website, let them search for free. You've already got their contact information, and you can start engaging and start your follow-up via your CRM, whether that's KV Core or another of your choice, right? So they can go ahead and start doing that search. But that is how a lead form, or that's how a instant form works. Again, click your ad, your form's prompted, it's got your call to action, it's got your headline, what you're going to offer them, and how you're going to leverage your information. The call to action will then redirect them to your website. So we're going to use instant forms. You could do different types of conversion events, right? Maybe you don't want to use a form. Maybe you just want to generate the leads through your website, which is more of a links goal than it is a forms goal. But you can, in fact, choose any of these other ones. The one, again, I use the most is instant forms, right? This is going to get you the best results. You can use Messenger if you want to drive messages to your business page, or instant forms and Messenger, where you capture a form and then it sends them a message through Messenger. You could do it that route as well. But most home buyers, most people looking to either sell or buy a home just want to get to their end result, which is either A, they want to know what their home is worth, or B, they want to see properties for sale, right? So instant forms will get you to that goal quicker. You'll then go ahead and select your pages, right? So we'll select your Facebook page. You don't have to worry about dynamic creative. Dynamic creative just essentially allows you to input multiple headlines and images, and Facebook will essentially make it dynamic in the aspect of it creates the ad with different variations for you, dependent upon the format or the channel which they're viewing your ad. So I don't do anything too much with dynamic creative. It's just very time consuming and cluttered. Now, since we're all KV Core users, here is another kind of sneak tip I want to give you all, especially for everybody paying attention here. Catalogs. So catalogs is basically like as if you were to run an e-commerce website. You could essentially have like a CSV file with all your products, and all those products would basically be imported into a catalog, right? So think of like your inventory. Now, with a catalog in real estate, how those two kind of play together with each other is KV Core has what is called as an XML feed, right? This XML feed essentially is either A, all the office listings, B, all of your personal listings, or C, it could be like a team's listings or somebody within, again, your office. So maybe that's A and B, right? So maybe there's only two. Anywho, I digress. The listing feed enables you to go ahead and pull those listings into a catalog. And what that does is, if any of you have ever seen Ylopo, if any of you have ever seen any dynamic ads out there, it's going to run that similar strategy for you. And this is where I've been running these since 2017, where I've kind of got my bread and butter, because it creates a really engaging advertisement for you. But you need to first take this XML feed link and upload it into a catalog, right? Which I've already done here. You can see there's about 667 listings. So if I just go to all homes here, you'll now see here in a moment, when we go to the next slide, what that ad actually looks like. There's also a budget here. I could set my start date. And then again, just like Boost Property, my audience. Now, custom audiences. I want to stop here for a second, because maybe you're not running like a home buyer ad. Maybe you want to prospect expireds, or you want to maybe market to a specific neighborhood. Custom audiences still let you do that. You can, in fact, go to your local title and escrow company. Here in San Antonio, we could get it directly through Sabor. We have a feed through CRMLS, I believe it is, where we can go and essentially export all the homeowner data. We just have to then go ahead and cross-reference it to gather phone numbers and emails. But with a custom audience, you can upload a custom audience from a CSV file. So for example, if I go here and click on create new, there's this customer list that I can use. And then basically I would just drag and drop that CSV file into here. And it will import me a custom audience that I can then leverage to target market, right? So maybe I'm going to advertise towards potential home sellers in a specific area, and I want to make sure my ad's kind of like static and they just constantly see it. This is exactly how you'll create that by importing a custom list. If you don't want to do that, if maybe you just want to do more like radius-based marketing, we can go ahead and in my locations here, I can go ahead and set up my location to be San Antonio. And then I could do the whole demographic market, or I can, do like my zip code plus 15 miles. There is a 15-mile constraint on your advertising for real estate. So just do be very cautious of that. You can't go lower than 15 miles. That's why I say, if you want to target market a specific neighborhood, use a custom audience so that you can do that. If not, you're going to be kind of confined to that 15-mile radius or more. All right, so we got our location. We have our age. Then we can go ahead and, like we were doing with Boost Post, we could start putting our demographics, right? So I could start saying, or my interest, I say. We could start saying Zillow, Realtor.com. And you don't want to put a ton of interest in here. The more interest you put, the more kind of micro granular this is going to make your actual audience, the less reach you're going to have overall with them. And when you run a catalogs ad, you'll see you're going to get that message that they can't estimate what your audience or your goal is going to be, your estimated kind of conversion or lead generation. So we're done here, right? Once we have that, we're done. You can narrow the audience. You could even exclude job titles if you wanted to, like if you want to exclude realtors, you could totally do that. If you don't want other agents clicking on your ads, you'll be able to go ahead and exclude them from the ad. But I don't like to exclude anybody. I just leave these three in here with my catalogs ad, and then I go ahead and click on next. Now that we've done that, you'll saw that I had selected my catalogs ad from the previous screen. And now it's actually pulled in the catalog for me here. So you could see that catalog. Now, the really cool thing about this is that since it's a catalog, this is a carousel ad. So they could scroll up to 50 listings through this ad. And basically, until they find the right property or see the right property, they can continue to scroll, right? And then once they do, they're going to click on either sign up or whatever I set my call action be. You'll be able to set that right here. So where it says call to action, I usually use the learn more button. Usually when you try and do a sign up, people are like, I'm not going to sign up. Learn more. They prompt that form, and then you can go ahead and use it that way, right? The only thing that you're going to have to do, because catalog ads pull in the listing name and description. So you'll see how it pulled it in there for me. So it's got the address, and it'll have a short description here as well. The only thing you have to do is add your primary text, and your primary text goes right here above your carousel style ad. For this, I like to use a tool that I built, which is Listing Describer. So you can go ahead and go to like your Facebook ad copy here if it's a specific listing. If not, you could just use ChatGPT directly from here, and I can write it a command to say, write me an ad copy for a Facebook carousel or catalog ad, right? Or Facebook home listing ad, advertising, listings for sale in San Antonio, right? So they'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll submit that. And now I'll have some Facebook ad copy here that I can use. I'm using this just for time purposes. That way we don't have to go through there. And so we get our ad copy here. We could just easily copy that and paste it into our text. And now we have our ad copy. Now I want to highlight something here because you'll notice that this just looks very boring and plain. Be sure to include emojis in your primary text. Emojis are eye capturing, right? They will stop people from scrolling past your ad so that they continue to be engaged with it, right? So instead of just continue to scroll because they just see text, they're going to see the emoji, whatever it might be, a home or smiley faced or like a stop sign, whatever it might be, put it in here. Now, the last part to this ad setup with Facebook ads that's going to generate you results is creating that instant form. Now, I have several forms here, right? You can see some of the forms that I've run. The one that's best producing is the one that asks less questions, right? So what I mean by that is when I go to create a form, in this form, it's going to allow me to start from scratch. Don't use any of the pre-built stuff here. Create it from scratch so that you get to have control over what's on it. You'll give the form a name. So we'll name this EXP Family Tree. right? And then we also have some form types. So form types, it's very important to pay attention to these items here. You have more volume, you have higher intent, or you have rich creative. The top two ones are the ones that I use most often. More volume just means that they're not going to have a review process when they click the submit button. Higher intent adds an additional review step. So it gives the people a chance to actually confirm their info before they continue on through that funnel or through that path, right? So you could use more volume or higher intent. Now, what I've been using recently is more volume, but I've been adding conditional questions to my forms. So in my intro, I'm going to use the image for my ad, and then in my headline, you could also have the listing name, or you can just go and say San Antonio homes for sale. And what I like to do here in the description, instead of writing a long description here, I usually put bullet points, right? So set up search alerts, updated every 15 minutes. You could say, connect or find homes with pools. Texas, it's hot right now. We're about 104 today. So you can go ahead and use some of these like little quirky things, right? As far as like a list goes. And you'll see how over here off to the right is building out that form and giving you a preview. So you can go ahead and do that. And then in my questions, this is where you get to have some fun, right? This is kind of the bread and butter as to what type of lead you're actually going to capture. So you'll see that we have the ability to capture their email, their full name. You could also change this. So like if I don't want it to be full name, I could say I want the user first name and I want the user last name separated. Now, the reason why you might do this is because maybe the system or application you're using doesn't accept the full name. It needs to be separated, right? So you might have first and last name separated. You could then also capture their phone number. So under contact fields, phone number. Now, there's my form. Again, these are all pre-filled when they click on this app or they click on the learn more call to action button. Forms prompted. That's all pre-filled. They're just going to have to click a button at the bottom. Now, if you want to qualify your leads a little bit more, and this is what we've been doing recently with our ads, which is why our leads cost are going up, is Facebook has a conditional logic option here. Conditional logic allows you to say, it's like an if-then statement, right? So if they click buy, take them this way. If they click sell, take them this way. If they click rent, take them this way. And you can add questions into here that are multiple choice. So for example, there are already some sample questions built into here for you, but you could say, what are you looking to do? Question mark, buy. And we'll go to sell. And we will say rent. And then you get to choose your next step. They have some formatting issues going on, so I don't actually create the next question from there. I just go down to the bottom here and create another question. So question 2, what is your budget? Like how much do you want to spend, right? So now that I've done that, I can go back to my Q1 and I can use this to go to do a question. So when they click buy, I want them to go to question 2. And when they click sell, I'm going to add another question in here. How soon do you want to sell? And you could see how you could get really strategic with this actual conditional logic, because now that they've answered sell, we're going to take them to a question. How soon do you want to sell? And maybe for renter leads, you don't necessarily want them coming into your CRM. So you want to just have this form close, right? So set it to close. It's not going to like not let them do anything. I'm going to show you what you can do with that here at the end. But it's just basically going to qualify them as like a non-lead, right? So they're going to come in. They're not going to be qualified as a lead, meaning that there's no form submitted, but you could still redirect them to your website to search rentals if you have rentals on your website, just so that they're still getting taken care of. And the idea behind that is that if you have your pixel set up as well, which you should all have it set up if you're running Facebook ads, you'll be able to retarget those people. And over time, once they become a true buyer, they'll come back through this form, go through the logic, click buy, and then you'll capture their information and their details later on down the road. So you could set up your questions. The last thing that I will show you here, or not last thing, but I did miss this, is the description. This is where you tell the people what you're going to use their information for. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of this session, is that you want to make sure that you're transparent. So we are going to send you market updates and information via SMS, email, and phone. All right, so that they know they're opting into some sort of automation. Now, when you scroll down, there's a privacy policy. If you all have your KV Core website, your privacy policy is just basically your domain.com/privacy.php. This is your privacy page that you all have on your KV Core websites. This shows you all the compliance stuff that you'll need for your local area. So just go ahead and copy that. And then in your Facebook form where it says link, go ahead and put that in your link. And then in link text, I usually just put privacy policy to keep me 100% compliant. You can also add more disclaimers if you need to here, if you're doing any kind of credit things, or if you're a lender or anything like that. You could add additional disclaimers into here that say, hey, this is not an actual reflection of a rate you might get or something along those lines. Now, your in page, this is important because your in page, again, with catalog ads, your in page will actually be, you still have to set it, but it'll be the listing that they've clicked on. So if they clicked on 123 Oak Street, they'll be redirected to 123 Oak Street, but they still want you to plug in a link here. So for your call to action for leads, you get to change the in-page name, the headline, the description. So you say something like, you can now view the property you were interested in, right? And view website. And then you'll go ahead and put your link. So I'm going to use this link here. Like I was saying, you want to make sure with lead forms, your registration is turned off so that they're not having to re-register. So there's that. And then you could say something like view property. And then for your non-leads, again, these could be rentals, right? If that was somebody that had said they're looking to rent, I'm going to actually send them to a rentals page or search on my website. So I'm going to go ahead and use San Antonio. And we'll go ahead and click on search. And then basically on here, what we'll do is you could add that timing if you want to, or you don't have to, but you probably do want to. So you'll put the timing and then you'll grab that link. Again, you can do all this from the back end of KV Core if you want to as well. I like to do it from the front end of the website. It's just quicker for me since I know the little short codes and stuff. But you can go ahead and do that, right? So now my form's set up, create form, and then I'm ready to roll. So all I got to do now is click on publish, and this will actually start running that advertisement across all those social platforms. Like I said, these ads and this type of Facebook ad generate results. So I showed you some of those results at the beginning of the call here, and I know we're running a little short on time, but let me show you again, just kind of these results here. But 479 leads, about 23,000 on my reach, 54,000 on my impressions, and $1.10 per lead for a total cost of about $525. So that's over the life of this ad. You could see though, also, like I was mentioning earlier, if you want to do expireds, there's the option of doing that as well with lead forms. So you can run an expired ad with the lead form, and that lead form could basically be like, hey, want to download the top 10 reasons why homes don't sell? It could be an offering of a PDF documentation that you've created or EXP has in their marketing center that you just attach to that lead form. So the lead form doesn't necessarily have to go, and this looks like I'm crying, but I'm actually not crying there. But the lead form can go to something like the documentation there, right? So there's my photo, get your expired guide. And what I'm doing with this ad specifically is I'm using a custom audience where I grabbed and I use like a Vulcan 7 or a Red X or a My Leads Plus. You grab all of those expired listings in a CSV file, plug them into that custom audience, and then you hammer down on them with some video retargeting ads via social media. But once they submit this form, they are then redirected to a Google Drive link where they can go ahead and download a seller guide, right? So just some low-hanging fruit. The idea behind this is that you want to have some sort of offering So you could see they go to this guide here. The offering is basically going to be your lead magnet, right? That's why I called myself lead magnet, because you got to attract those people to you, and you got to have some sort of offering, because that's what people are looking for. So but we have about 15 minutes. If you want to open it back up, I don't know if you want to run some Q&A or if we have any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just taking a look. I don't see anything in the chat box, so you guys need to unmute yourselves if you do have questions. Tons of people watching on EXP Family Tree, so hi to you guys. Nobody has commented yet. You guys comment here if you do have questions, and I'll monitor it. But anybody on the Zoom that wants to ask a question or bring something else up that we can talk around here for the next few minutes? You guys are very quiet today.
Hi, Cari. This has been super helpful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, here's the thing, you guys, you probably have to watch it again, right? I think this is one of the things that why people are a little bit quiet when they watch things on Facebook ads like me. It's like a little bit overwhelming, but I just was like, okay, all I need to do is go watch it again, pause it, do it while I'm watching it. This is how I learn, and then I'll know how to do this. But super, super good information, because if those of you are like me and have just done some basic like ads, maybe some basic boosting, you're just not getting results, it's just kind of a waste of time and money. And it's better to just learn these few different tactics, employ them, spend a little bit more time, and you're going to get a much greater return. I mean, obviously Ernest has gotten a tremendous amount of leads. So I just randomly boost post, Ernest, that is going to make you cringe. And it's like, why am I doing it? I don't do it. It doesn't do anything. Why do I do that? It's just a waste of my money and my time. It's because I don't know what else to do. Anybody else that has a question or a comment?
I do.
Yeah.
I gotta run.
You mentioned the squeeze page. Do you need to get that set up before you do the Facebook ads from KV
Yes.
Court?
Yeah, so you would want to set it up prior to it. Again, think of what your goal is, right? A lot of you are maybe trying to hone in onto a specific market. So try and correlate those squeeze pages with those markets. But yeah, you would want to build where the lead is going to land at, or the offering that the lead's going to land on prior to going in and creating the ad. So
Okay, thank you.
And there are some great resources. If you don't know how to do that on a squeeze page or a landing page on KV Core, there are a couple of different workplace groups. Just go into the workplace groups. And I don't know if you recommend any in specific, Ernest, but I've had a lot of my partners just go into the CRM for Dum-Dums, which is Sylvia Dana's, but you can just search in that group landing page. And then just watch that particular video. You know, sometimes I think that we feel like we have to know everything about the CRM, but if we just do the one thing we need at the time, we'll just slowly but surely get everything done that we need. Even if you're not using it, you can still get the landing page and start getting new leads into it. Even if you're not using it yet for your database or anything like that, that's okay. You got to start somewhere. And if you start using it for these leads that are coming in, you'll be in the system more, you'll naturally start using it and learning more about it. And then you can start putting in your SOI and different things. So don't let some of those limiting beliefs hold you back. I know, that happens for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, and I will say, I showed you a very specific ad setup strategy. It doesn't have to be that exact ad strategy when you use the lead forms. It could be, again, first-time home buyers. You could be running expired listing ads. You could be targeting reloads. You can, whatever it is that you're trying to target, you could use a lead form to do it. The lead form is just the way of capturing the contact's details versus relying on your website's lead capture. Because oftentimes what happens is they go to your website and they click around and they close your site, right? They don't actually take action. So the idea behind the lead form is that before we let them land on our offering, we're going to capture those details up front. And then in return, we're going to have that offering for them. So like I was saying, with my expired ads, and this one performed very well, it actually produced about 10 listing appointments. And out of those 10, we got 3 new listings. But basically what we were doing is taking an expired data feed, plugging it into a custom audience, sending postcard mailers, as well as running those retargeting ads on Facebook And eventually these people were calling us to schedule these appointments after they went through that lead form. So I had an entire back-end process built inside of Lead Magnet. It's a pretty cool dashboard. But in here, we have an expired campaign basically for that specific niche that you can go into and start working with our system. So kind of a cool platform.
Awesome. Awesome. Any other questions that anybody has? Otherwise, my suggestion to you guys is to go back and watch this, watch it on one screen, and then do it while you're watching it. Pause it as you need to. If you're like me and it just takes a minute, that's a good strategy that works for me. And just do the first one and see how it goes. I mean, even if it's not the best, you're probably still going to get a handful of leads, and it's better than you got when you just boosted the post. And if anybody has any other questions, you can find Ernest on work chat. And Ernest, is there any other things that you wanted to kind of promote about yourself, or any programs or trainings or anything that you have while you're live on EXP Family Tree?
Sure. Yeah, I was waiting for that, but anywho, I'm more than happy to give away free content. I have a YouTube channel, Lead Magnet, where I go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays as well. We do a lot of kind of strategy, content marketing, and things like that. But if you just want a done for you ad service, go to goleadmagnet.com/realtor. I do offer this as a service that's a flat rate. We don't tack on for like ad budget, and we are boutique. So whatever it is that you're looking to set up, we can help you get set up, whether that's the expired campaigns, FSBO campaigns, first-time home buyers, catalog sales, whatever it might be, we could actually help you. So
goleadmagnet.com/realtor.
Correct.
Awesome. I just posted that, you guys, in the chat, and I'm going to post this also on the live stream, Ernest, so people have all of that. If you guys have other questions, go ahead and work chat Ernest, you guys. Thanks for being here. Go check out my YouTube channel by this evening or tomorrow morning. It'll be there if you want to rewatch it there, or you can watch the live stream as many times as you'd like right here in EXP Family Tree. Thanks, you guys, so much for being here. Ernest, so great to meet you. Thank you so much for this information.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, everyone.